Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. In the Governorate of Muscat, some areas are affected by rainfall as Al Nahda Hospital is engulfed by rainwater once again. His Excellency, the Ambassador of the United Kingdom, in a statement to Oman Radio and Television, stresses that the Sultanate plays a vital role in solving outstanding issues in the region. His Excellency, the Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Housing, in a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, says that the social housing programme will not be affected by the decrease in oil prices. And due to rainfall and low temperature, the Jabal Shams and Sara mountain peaks are covered with snow. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. In the Governorate of Muscat, some areas have been affected by rainfall witnessed in the wilayas of the Governorate. It caused the disruption of traffic movement and water overflow into houses and buildings, including government institutions. People suffered due to rains falling in their areas, which affected their daily life and caused disruption in the traffic movement in some areas, namely Al Hamriya and Rui, besides other low-lying areas. Al Nahda Hospital was engulfed by rainwater once again. All wards, some equipment, beds and emergency department were underwater. However, all patients were transferred by the Ministry of Health and Public Authority for Civil Defence Ambulance to other hospitals in cooperation with Royal Oman Police. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al Husni, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Health Affairs, indicated that no case of death among the patients was recorded. He urged that any patient who is referring to Al Nahda Hospital to visit other hospitals according to their cases, indicating that health centres are covering various health services which were provided by Al Nahda Hospital. The evacuation was also conducted due to a cut in electricity supply in the hospital, and it lasted until this evening. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al Husni, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Health for Health Affairs, discussed with a number of officials of Al Nahda Hospital the procedures taken to deal with the rainwater problem entered into the hospital. He also referred to the engineering evaluation, which showed no damages to any medical equipment, stressing the importance to conduct laboratory tests for operation rooms to make sure that they are clear of contagious microbes. Their Excellencies, the members of Shura Council, visited various wards of Al Nahda Hospital to inspect the damages afflicted by the rainwater and to assure the work process of the hospital. His Excellency Salim bin Ali Al Qa'bi, Deputy Chairman of the Shura Council, said that the Council, within its scope of responsibility, will conduct the practical steps to suitable solutions to these reoccurring problems in the future, stressing that members asked for clarifying the damage suffered by the hospital and to inquire about the role of technicians and engineers at the Ministry of Health in the safety check-up process for the building against water risks. Dr. Fatima bint Ibrahim Al-Ajmi, Director General for Health Services in the Governorate of Muscat, highlighted the reasons of the problem, in which one of the water channels was not properly laid, causing water to seep into the hospital. The Governorate of Brahmi witnessed for the second day light to moderate rains. The centre of the Wilaya of Brahmi and Niyaba of Hafid in the Wilaya of As-Sunaina witnessed light to moderate rains. The Wilaya of Mhadha witnessed moderate rains, causing wadis and tributaries to overflow. The rain was measured in the Wilaya of Brahmi at 35 millimetres, while 21 and 11.5 millimetres were recorded in the Wilaya of Mhadha and As-Sunaina respectively. Heavy rains accompanied by hailstones fell in Jabal Shams in the Walaya of Al-Hamra and Jabal As-Sara in the Walaya of Ibri, causing decrease of temperature to reach -1 degree Celsius. The citizens in the two Jabals could not reach their places of work due to the freezing weather. His Excellency, the Chairman of the Tender Board, conducted a presentation at the State Council explaining the procedures used by the board when awarding projects. The session was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al-Manthari, Chairman of the Council. More details are with Saif bin Khalfan Al-Kindi.
During the session at the State Council, it was mentioned that the Tender Board will be appointed as the center of excellence in tenders and procurement by focusing on providing consultancy and reliable analysis for governmental bodies in terms of the demands of the development policy and foreign investment in the Sultanate. His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin As-Safi Al-Huraybi, Chairman of Tender Board, presented to the honorable members of the State Council the procedures followed by the Tender Board when accepting a tender offer. Meanwhile, His Honorable Engineer Salim bin Said Al-Ghattami, head of the Economy Committee at the State Council, pointed out the main points that were highlighted during the discussion. Al-Ghattami said,
there were a lot of questions from the honorable members. Of course, as far as we concern this kind of information, it will be very helpful for the State Council members, also for the State Council committees to use this information during any time of study for any subject, also for reviewing any kind of laws which will be forwarded from the government to the State Council.
Furthermore, His Excellency the Chairman of the Tender Board talked about the current plans to increase recruitment and qualify staff of the board based on the professional plan for human resources development. He also described the ways of supporting small and medium establishments. They will take about 10% from the overall budget of the big project as subcontractors. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
In a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin As-Safi Al-Huraybi, Chairman of the Tender Board, stressed that the board seek on its new plan to conduct studies for main prices of markets to be as guidance indicator to analyse and provide consultancy services for specialised bodies concerned in the field of government procurement and tenders, local development policies and direct foreign investment. His Excellency John Willicks, Ambassador of the United Kingdom, accredited to the Sultanate, said in a statement to radio and television of the Sultanate of Oman that the Sultanate plays a vital role in solving outstanding issues to many crises witnessed in the region, such as Yemen's crisis and the Iranian nuclear dispute. That stems from the Sultanate's commitment to dialogue in handling such issues. He said he is proud of the existing cooperation between the Sultanate and the UK, adding that the Sultanate's tendency towards dialogue reflects the Omani unique culture. Therefore, he hopes that the diplomatic and political collaboration will continue between the two countries, and he would like to encourage other countries in the region, as well as to support Oman to come up with solutions in the region. The British investment volume in the Sultanate reached around $7 billion, according to statistics issued in 2014. A press conference held by the British Embassy revealed that a British commercial delegation will visit some economic institutions in the Sultanate, such as Duqm Special Economic Zone. The delegation included senior representatives from investment banks, asset managers and insurance companies. The most important British exports to the Sultanate represented in transport equipment, which reached 139 million Omani riyals, followed by the industrial equipment and machinery parts, which reached 55 million Omani riyals. The High Committee of Shura Council elections for the 8th term held its first meeting on preparations of the elections. The committee is tasked to supervise the elections and to solve out election disputes, as well as to monitor the work process of the committees and decisions issued by the main committee of the elections, besides approving the final voting results. Still to come in our news bulletin. Al-Wafa Center for Qualifying Handicapped Children organizes a workshop on family guidance in the Wilaya of Mudaibi. Welcome back to the news. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al-Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, received in his office today Her Excellency Barbara Yozayase, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Netherlands, accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and reviewed the bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and the Kingdom of Netherlands and means of enhancing them in all fields to achieve joint interests for the two sides. His Excellency, the Minister of the Royal Office, also received His Excellency Ibrahim Diakhaté, Ambassador of Senegal, accredited to the Sultanate. They discussed bilateral relations between the two countries and means of enhancing them to achieve joint interests of the Sultanate and Senegal, as well as touching on a number of matters of common concern. His Excellency Engineer Saif bin Amr al-Shaqsi, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Housing, in an exclusive statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, said that the social housing program will not be affected by the decrease in oil prices, and the ministry will support the program with 80 million Omani riyals. He added that a number of projects will be implemented during the current year. He also said that regarding housing loans, they have 15 million Omani riyals available for the year. He pointed out that these social housing land plot applications on the Sultanate level reached 62,000 and social loan applications were around 20,000. He further added that the ministry has a perspective to provide housing units for the citizens applying for land and housing loans. He concluded that these housing units include twin villas and apartments with all the necessary services. In order to enhance trade and investment cooperation and increase exchange in various fields, Oman-Brunei Business Networking Day discussed facilities provided in both countries at oil, gas, foodstuff and beverages sectors. The forum discussed also to open opportunities for companies in both countries to expand commercial base with Brunei and East Asia countries in general. The meeting, which the Public Authority for Investment, Promotion and Export Development, ITHRA, seeks to introduce investment atmosphere and economy of the Sultanate, came with an expanding investment with Brunei, especially in the field of food industry, since Brunei depends on oil on its economy and its desire to diversify the sources of income. With the participation of 50 companies, hospitals and health clinics from inside and outside the Sultanate, the events of the 3rd International Medical and Healthcare Exhibition and Conference were inaugurated at Oman International Exhibition Centre under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Talib Al-Hinai, Undersecretary of Health for Planning Affairs. The 3-day exhibition provided free medical consultancy for various age groups, in addition to exhibits of modern devices and technologies. Al-Wafa Centre for Qualifying Handicapped Children organised a workshop on family guidance in the Wilaya of Muthaibi. It witnessed an attendance from members of the society and experts in this field. It came to shed light on various aspects of qualifying the handicapped, as well as dialogue sessions on the role of the family and the society in this field. It also stressed on the social partnership among the government of local sectors, in addition to spreading awareness and acquainting the community with the necessary methods to deal with the handicapped in the society. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over northern governorates of the Sultanate, with chances of scattered rainfall, and generally clear over the rest of the governorates, with chances of dust on deserts. Winds will be north to northwesterly moderate to rough over most areas of the Sultanate, while it will be northwesterly light to moderate along the coasts of the Sultanate. Seas will be moderate to rough along most coasts of the Sultanate, with a maximum wave height of 2 to 3 metres, and slight along the rest of the coasts. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. In the Governorate of Muscat, some areas are affected by rainfall as Al Nahdha Hospital is engulfed by rainwater once again. His Excellency the Ambassador of the United Kingdom, in a statement to Oman Radio and Television, stresses that the Sultanate plays a vital role in solving outstanding issues in the region. His Excellency the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Housing, in a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, says that the social housing programme will not be affected by the decrease in oil prices. And due to rainfall and low temperature, the Jabal Shams and Sara mountain peaks are covered with snow. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.